Morning YouTube. Well, it's been a while since I've been able to get some of our videos out. Mainly due to me being under the weather for the last month or so. Decided what better day to, or time I should say, to resume vlogging than on my morning commute. And it occurred to me that I never really properly introduced myself. I'm sure, well, all the folks that we normally talk to in Google Hangouts, they know us. But as for the rest of you, I'm going to give you a bit of backstory in my life.
It all started a long time ago.
Oh, no, you really don't have to tell me your whole life story, please.
You may want to see it.
Guess I could start with how I became part of the group known as
Nerds! Nerd! Nerd!
all started in middle school. And, decided to start dabbling in electronics. When you take like an LED and put it on a button battery, I found that fascinating. So got myself one of those engineers mini notebooks, is what Radio Shack used to sell at the time when they were still Eagle Electronics, I think. Had a bunch of circuit diagrams where showed you how to build stuff. Yeah, I spent a good part of my childhood building circuits, like lasers and ion guns, that kind of thing. And literally driving my father absolutely crazy, being out in the garage and misusing all of his tools. Had to replace quite a lot of them due to my actions. I'm sure he felt awesome towards me about that.
Why, you little...
A few years later, got our very first computer. Yay! An old Magnavox 286, if I recall. It was running MS-DOS. Ah, the DOS days. Everything was driven via command line. Well, that wasn't my first computer experience. Our high school had Apple IIs, I believe, in the science lab. So we were learning to program in BASIC. Fun stuff. So a few more years went by. Joined the high school technology club. Marching band. Typical nerdy stuff. Got into doing LAN gaming. This is a bunch of us computer nerds would take our computers over to somebody's house and network them together and imbibe in massive amounts of IBC root beer and all sorts of confections that were not great for your health all night long.
Alright, you guys, the moment of truth is here. It is time for our final battle. Everyone log in!
Those were the good old days. I'd wanted to become an electrical engineer, so I began my high school, college prep courses for that career path. But ultimately, I ended up changing to graphic design. Just because I discovered the wonderful program that is Photoshop. Yay. So I went a few years in college doing graphic design, and started doing some freelance work. Got involved with an engineering firm. Now I'm working in maintenance in the industrial automation industry. So, fine arts, industrial automation. Fine arts, industrial automation. Not really related, but that's what I'm doing these days. Funny how life's courses take you through things. Now, how I got into motorcycling. that's more of a utilitarian kind of story. I was going to college, didn't have a car, was just riding my bicycle to and from campus about 5 miles every day, one way. And pretty much got tired of cold in the winter and getting rained on constantly throughout the year. Well, of course, buying a motorcycle, you still got to deal with those, but at least it was going to be more expedient. I wasn't making a whole lot of money, through my apprenticeship at the college, so couldn't really afford to buy a car at the time. So decided it was going to be more economical to get a motorcycle. So I was originally looking at a Kawasaki Vulcan 750. There's a local bike dealership next to my apartment, so made it easy to pop in and out on the way to and from class. I mulled around on that for a few months, trying to decide that was the bike for me. It felt great, had a great riding position, but didn't have any means of storage, and I wasn't so fond of the whole shifting thing. On my usual visits one day, I came in and the salesperson says, "Hey, I got something to show you. Just got these in." So he walked me over to the corner of the store, and they had a couple of Bergman scooters sitting there. 2 Bergman 400s. I'm like, well, these are different. Started going over the finer details, automatic centrifugal drive, the CVT, had copious amounts of storage under the seat, and even more storage up front under the glove box and 2 upper storage compartments. And the best thing was, I didn't have to shift. It was also fairly comfortable to sit on. It's like, perhaps this is the bike I should go with. So, a couple more weeks later, and telling my parents about what I was planning on doing. Of course, typical parents saying completely objectable to the idea of getting a motorcycle. They're like, "You're gonna go kill yourself on that thing." It's like, yeah. Heard it all. But took some convincing and eventually did. It's a little bit of help from them. I got my first bike. That's how I got into motorcycling. So this is my 3rd Bergman. I had gotten an 09 standard after the Bergman 400. And then now this is a 650 executive. The only difference between this and the standard is it's got power mirrors, power windscreen, anti-lock brakes. That's pretty much it. The newer models have heated seats and grips. So, just some minor cold weather conveniences. Started riding, let's see, April the 4th, 2007. So, a little bit over 10 years now, and a few 100,000 miles worth of travel, going from New York State all the way to Florida. Haven't made it out west yet, but that's a plan that myself and Sarafyna are looking to change later in the year. So, don't do much outside of that. To and from work, come home, chores, repeat. Yay, life. Yeah, it's the same thing I deal with every morning too. One of the things about living in a big city is too many people. Way too many people. I had to give up country living to come move to Cincinnati for a job. well, such as it is when desperations of unemployment tend to do things you really don't want to, but you need to out of necessity. But hey, the company did pay for the move over, so I really can't complain too much, other than the location. And yeah. But eventually, plan on moving to Tennessee. That's where my parents live right now. But it'd be nice to get down there and see them more often. I'm only like 4.5 hours away. But still, I don't get down there as much as I'd like. Especially now that I have no vacation time left due to my health problems. I am just about to work, so I'm going to catch you all later. And thanks for putting up with the bland details of my life. Just figured I'd share since I hadn't really done so. And I will get back with you all later.